Hello and welcome to another edition of Trotsky or Bust. It's, I think, the 5th of October. It's the whole Kavanaugh fiasco. It looks like he's going to get confirmed. What a surprise. What a surprise. I thought about it a few days ago. The way that what gave it away was the media knew. The media knew all along he was going to get confirmed. And the way we know this is because they never talked about a replacement, meaning what if he doesn't get it? Is they're going to bring in somebody else? At least I didn't see it. The only one I saw, I think, was on Fox News, something like that. They were talking about that crazy woman, Amy Coney Barrett, which, of course, the Republicans are never going to put it up. But the fact that they weren't talking about a replacement for Kavanaugh means that they knew all along that he was going to get nominated. Um, and it's just a big circus, a show. Um, the Democrats could put on a show for their, for them, the Democrats, it's good to lose this because, whoever lost this was going to do better. Their base will get angry. It's just part of their divide and conquer, find issues that aren't important. Or, I'm not saying sex, you know, uh, being a attempted rape isn't important. It is being a pervert, but it's not like Democrats care. I mean, the last time this happened, remember Clarence Thomas? That was bigger than this. The whole country was watching it with Anita Hill, Clarence Thomas, and Democrats. Oh my God, even though some of them voted for him. And after this whole show, what happened? Less than 4 months after that, it was when Bill Clinton, I remember when he came back and he didn't win New Hampshire primary, but says New Hampshire has made Bill Clinton the comeback kid. And about a year after the whole Clarence Thomas thing, Bill Clinton, the biggest sex predator of all, probably was elected president. So it's totally meaningless. It's just there to distract us. What happened last week or the week before while this shit was going on? The Republicans, the Congress made the Donald Trump's tax cuts permanent. They couldn't do it before because it'll raise the deficit. So every few years, the Republicans make this whole show, or every year maybe, about they pretend to be fiscal conservatives, so they're going to stop the budget, stop the government. So they don't want to do it this year because they're in total charge. So they gave us this whole show. The Democrats went along with it, and they approved, I think, $850 billion of spending. Um, no government shutdown. Trump is supposed to add about $8 trillion during his first 4 years. That's about what Obama did in 8 years. And I'm no fan of Obama, but this is just the usual shit. No worry about the deficit. As long as they're giving taxes to the rich, as long as they're increasing the military spending, it's okay. The only time deficits matter is when you talk about free college, which is like a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of what they're throwing away, and or Medicare for all, because we can't afford to save money, because that's what it is. Medicare for all would save this country a lot of money. We're paying like $4 trillion a year. The highest estimate, Koch brothers was 3.2. So we can't afford to save 800 billion, or probably it's a lot more than that. We can't afford to save a trillion and a half. So it's just part of their bullshit. Just to distract us, and unfortunately it's working. It always does. People always fall for it. Ratings were very high during the Kavanaugh hearings, and no one paid attention to what Congress was doing. The second thing, what they do is, this is for Republicans. We always think of Democrats as distracting us. Republicans do it too. One thing they didn't ask Kavanaugh about was his views on abortion. Now, I know everyone's going to say, oh, he's going to repeal or over, versus Wade. He's not going to do it. The media was talking about it initially, just like if you watched a few episodes back, that's the only thing they talk about. Don't worry about any other issues. Just focus on Roe v. Wade. Even though that was 45 years ago, let's focus on that. If you remember in the 2004 election, George W. Bush was this Christian president. and the Republicans controlled the Congress, they controlled the House, the Senate. 7 out of the 9 Supreme Court justices back then were appointed by Republicans. Okay, and even then, Bush didn't even talk about abortion. He didn't talk about repealing Roe versus Wade. He talked about third trimester abortion. That's about 1% of abortions are third trimesters. That's what he talked about. And then he won the election. And then he nominated 2 justices, Supreme Court, one Chief Justice Roberts, and then Alito. And are third trimester abortions still legal in the United States today? You betcha. You betcha. You can have an abortion till birth. Okay? So abortion is to the Republicans what single payer is to the Democrats. It's something they talk about, but they never ever do. They'll never do it. Okay? I will be able to flap my arms and fly before the Republicans repeal Roe versus Wade, or before the Democrats give a single payer or Medicare for all. It's never going to happen. Yet, they'll run on it. Democrats will run on it. Rachel Maddow will keep talking about it, like, oh my God, abortion's going to be illegal. Like she's ever going to have an abortion. It's never going to happen. The day they outlaw abortion, you might as well turn off the lights at Republican headquarters. It's just a distraction. Third thing, I don't know if you saw today, job support came in. It was about 50,000 jobs less. Trump bragged about it. I mean, you need about 200,000 jobs a month just to keep up. It was expected to get 180. No, he got 130, and he bragged about it. And of course, no one's, hey, no one's going to call him on it that he's doing a crappy job. It's not even him. It's not, the economy is the economy. It's got nothing to do with them in the short term. But not that matters. Lastly, and this is sad, but I suppose expected, the Working Families Party, the WFP, which should be the WTF, they endorsed Cuomo. I mean, I was hoping that Cynthia Nixon would stay in the race, run, and they could have built themselves a party, the Working Families Party. Instead, they endorsed Cuomo. I mean, is there a better way to neuter yourself as a political party by endorsing another party? The second you do that, you're done. You're done. And these idiots didn't care. They're not trying to change this country. They're just going to pretend that the Democrats are better. So that went out the window. But it's okay. It doesn't matter. It's not about Cynthia Nixon. It's not about Bernie. It's about us. The candidate is just a figurehead. And eventually we'll get somebody. We'll get somebody who just says, fuck the Democrats. I'm going to run as an independent. I'm going to run to this party. And we can create a third party. I hope they don't run as independent. I actually hope a third party is created. Even if it gets 5-10% of the votes, it doesn't matter. It's something that, as long as people see it, to see that there's an alternative, that's how we defeat the parties. It's not going to happen, not with Cynthia Nixon and not with the Working Families Party. I hoped it would. Maybe it was just a con job. Maybe we would never have heard of the Working Families Party or Cynthia Nixon if they were going to seriously do that. Maybe it was just a sheepdog all along. Probably it was. It just keeps going this way. There's nothing else happening. The elections, who gives a shit? Just don't vote Democrat. Don't vote Joe Manchin. I can't believe that guy's going to win. Good thing that Heitkamp in North Dakota is going to lose. I think it's North or South. North Dakota, she's going to lose. That's one less. Hopefully, Claire McCaskill will lose. Not that it matters. It's not going to change the Democrats. It's still the same shitty party they've always been. Nothing's changing. I'm depressed, except it's Friday, so I'm enjoying it. That's about it. Take care. And just click whether you like this or not. I know it wasn't a good video. I just wanted to put one up today, though. And that's about it. And Trotsky out. And bye. Have a good weekend.